And welcome back to Ados the Great YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video, I will be going over how I went in round two, and then I'll be giving you my round three predictions. Now, I am recording this straight after the Dolphins-Dragons game on Sunday evening. The reason I'm doing it so early is because we're still moving house. It's been a very difficult weekend. I've been tuning in on the radio to most of the games this weekend, watching the games that I could. It's been chaotic. It has been chaotic. These next 3 weeks leading up to Easter, we're not going to have everything moved until the Easter weekend, I reckon. So I'm going to try my best to provide you guys with the best content possible. But yeah, once I get the computer and all that over to the new house, there is a good chance I might be without internet. But without further ado, let's jump in and review round two. So the first game, Broncos against my Rabbitohs. Look, as I said last week, I was pretty positive the Broncos would win this game, but I just can't tip against my team. So I went the Rabbitohs by 4. Unfortunately, the Broncos did get the job done, 28-18. However, I will say that score line flatters the Rabbitohs. South Sydney were just not good enough in this game. Reece Walsh absolutely teared us apart, as did a lot of the other Broncos players. Paddy Carrigan was outstanding. Latrell Mitchell was good, but outside of that, not too many positives. Outside of probably Latrell Mitchell and Cameron Murray for the Rabbitohs, I thought Damien Cook, outside of his sin binning, was actually okay as well. But yeah, a lot to work on for South Sydney, and good win for the Broncos. Next up, we saw the Sharkies take down the Bulldogs. Very close game in the first half, 6-all, I believe it was, going into halftime. And then Cronulla just came out and absolutely tailed the doggies up in the second half. I thought Matt Burton was very much improved this week, as was Blake Taff. But once they lost their front rower early on in the game, and then I think they had another injury potentially. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, Sharkies just way too good in that second half, and they killed them. Panthers and Eels, I actually didn't watch the first half of this one. I tuned in on the radio there. Very weird experience listening to the radio to get your football fix in 2024. But hey, it is what it is. It's what I had to do. So yeah, from what I saw or heard, pretty good game for the Eels. Few injuries early on. Tuolungi, I believe, dislocated his shoulder. Pretty bad injury too, from what I've seen in the highlights. Then we saw another player go down for Parramatta. I can't remember who it was, but there was definitely another injury. James Fisher-Harris could miss a little bit of time through an injury there for the Panthers. Look, from what I heard and saw in the highlights, the Panthers were pretty good in this game, but the Eels, to their credit, weren't too bad either. So, look, pretty strong performance from the Panthers. They got the job done. They got the first win of the season. Cracking win there. A lot of people were backing the Eels in this one, but I just thought Penrith would be too strong at Bluebet Stadium. So credit to the Panthers. Good win there. We moved on to the first game on Saturday. Watched the first half of this one, and I thought the Tigers were actually quite competitive for a good portion of the first half. I think the Raiders got out to a 12-0 start, and the Tigers got it back even, I think. Can't remember fully, but first half was pretty good from the Tigers. And the second half, it just all came apart. Raiders came through and got a really good win there. So credit to them. Strong start to the season, 213-plus wins, and they're sitting atop the ladder. So credit to the Raiders. Strong start to their 2024 campaign. Next up, we saw the Cowboys take on the Knights. This one I actually saw the second half of. I thought it was quite a good second half. Both sides fought out to the end, went into overtime, and yeah, Cowboys iced it. Chad Townsend, big field goal guy. So yeah, look, I thought plenty of positives for both teams to take from this one. I thought with the Cowboys, I thought their forward pack was incredible once again. Cole Felt scoring a try was nice to see as well. Geez, I tell you what, one of the best finishes in the league, in my opinion. Very good stuff for the Cowboys. Good win there, 21-20, and we move on. Like, that's pretty good. Pretty good week for me, to be fair. Like, after 2 from 8 last week, we're going all right. Storm against the Warriors was a very entertaining game. Again, only saw the second half of it though. uh, Xavier Coates, the best try I've ever seen in my life, the best put down ever. Like, especially with it was the last play of the game basically, and to do what he did was honestly just incredible. So shout out to him. Very very good try there. And pretty good performance by Storm. Like, I thought the Warriors, same with last week against the Sharks. I thought the Warriors were the better team on the day. It means nothing unless you get that 2 points. So very, very good win there for the Storm. You know, they pulled the rabbit out of the hat. They got the job done, and credit to them. All right, next up we've got the Seagulls against the Roosters. This game, I'm not going to lie, didn't watch any of it. I did listen to a little bit of it, but we were flat ahead at this point, so I'm not going to talk on it too much. Got the tip right, 21-14. Manly got the job done. All right, KO Stadium. This game I saw probably 60% of. Very good performance there for the Dolphins. The Dragons, I didn't think were actually horrible, but the scoreline says differently. But I thought the Dragons in some parts looked pretty good. But the Dolphins were just ruthless in this game. They were ruthless after getting tailed up 43-18 the week before. You know what? They've come out. They've gone, nah, we're not having this. We're keeping the Dragons to nil, and we're putting on nearly 40. So credit to them. Hammer scored 3 tries. I thought Jeremy Marshall-King was incredible. Went off for a HIA, then came back on and he scored a try. Incredible stuff. Thought Jack Bostock on the wing was really good for them as well. So a strong performance for the Dolphins. Definitely a good bounce back win after last week. I didn't take the Dolphins. I took them last week. I thought they'd beat the bloody Cowboys. And I've gone, no, you know what? The Dragons were really good last week. I think they'll bounce back and they'll get a win. Unfortunately, wasn't to be. Credit to the Dolphins. Great performance. All right, let's go. You'll see my tips here. You will see my tips. But we'll go one by one and discuss it. The reason I've done this is I pre-recorded all these videos because I didn't think I'd get time to do them. So you will see my tips. I don't think there is a way I can clear them. So it is what it is. It is what it is. See, random tips. I can't clear them. It is what it is. All right, so Panthers against the Broncos. Obviously, you see I have backed the Panthers in this one. I'm backing them by 6 points here. Look, strong performance by the Panthers last week against the Eels. Look, I thought the Broncos were pretty good against the Rabbitohs. Obviously, got a really good win, but it probably should have been by more. I think some of those errors really hurt them, and I think against the Panthers will make you pay for making those rookie mistakes. So I do think the Panthers get the job done here. James Fisher-Harris likely out for the Panthers. For the Broncos, they will be missing Adam Reynolds, it looks like, for a few weeks. And in the last 7 games, the Panthers have won 5, Broncos have won 2. So it should definitely be a pretty good game or pretty good win there for the Panthers. I'm going to say 1-12 because I don't think they win this one 13 plus. All right, next up, we've got the New Zealand Warriors against the Canberra Raiders. I am backing in the Warriors in this one. I think that they will be too good here for the Raiders. Now, I know the Raiders have won their first 2 games and they've looked pretty good doing it. However, against the Tigers, I'm not convinced. Yeah, they were good in round 1. I'll give them that. But I think the Warriors have been the better team in both their games. They've been playing pretty good opponents in Cronulla and Storm, and unfortunately, they just lost them. It's hard to explain it, but they just lost them. So I think they'll be better for this one. I think they will get the job done. I think it'll be a 1-12 margin, but yeah, I've got the Warriors winning that one. All right, next up, we've got the Roosters against my South Sydney Rabbitohs. This one should be a cracker. I think this is easily the game of the round for me. Rabbitohs coming off 2 losses to start the season. Roosters coming off a win and then a loss. well, this week just gone against Manly. Look, I don't know how they played. To be honest, I've heard rumours that Sam Walker, Luke Keary could be out for this one, and for the Rabbitohs, we do welcome. Well, Jack White will play his first game in Rabbitohs colours. Look, I am confident we get the job done here. I'm not. I went into this season thinking there's a good chance we'll be 0-3. And if we can just compete in this one and look good, obviously you want to get the win, 100% you want to get the win. But if we can see some improvement, I will be a little bit happier. Uh, Look, at the end of the day, I think the Rabbitohs should get the job done here, especially with Jack White being back. A lot of players are under pressure to perform. I think Latrell Mitchell is due a huge game. I know we've seen him do some spectacular things in the last couple of weeks, but I do think that I think the Rabbitohs bounce back in a big way in this one. Now, I do think it'll be a 1-12 margin, but I think I think it'll be the Rabbitohs getting the job done. Not just because they're my team, but I genuinely believe South Sydney can win that one. All right, next up, we've got the Bulldogs against the Titans. Titans have had the wood over the Doggies in the last 7 games. Titans winning 4, Bulldogs winning 3. So, should be a fairly close game, I think. Once again, I'm not expecting I'm not expecting blowouts by either side. I think it'll be a very high-scoring game, something like maybe a 28-26 game there. Obviously, tipping the Dogs in this one, I think they will be too good for the Titans. Um, Not saying I think the Titans are a better team. Just at Belmore, I think the Dogs will get the job done. I really do. Unfortunately, like as much as I love the Titans, I think they're a great team. I've got a lot of respect for them. I think the Dogs will just be too good at Belmore there, so I am backing the Bulldogs at 1-12. All right, next up we've got the Dragons against the Cowboys. This one is a tough one. The Cowboys have won the last 4 games against the Dragons, and I think that this is definitely a game the Cowboys should win. However, at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium, it is definitely a game that the Dragons could win. In saying that, at the start of the week, I did have the Dragons tip. I'm actually going to change it to the Cowboys. Don't know how I feel about that one because I do think the Dragons definitely can win this game. But after that performance against the Dolphins, I just think they're going to really lack confidence in this one. And I think the Cowboys will definitely make them pay. So, look, the Cowboys, as I said, won the last 4 games quite convincingly over the Dragons, so I think they do continue that, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Dragons did cause an upset. All right, next up, we've got the Sharks against the Tigers. Cronulla winning their last 4 games really well against the Tigers. They're averaging about a 27-point win rate or percentage, or not percentage, a 27 average winning margin over the last 4 games. Incredible stuff there for the Sharks. Yeah, look, I don't see the Tigers coming close in this one. I think this one will be a 13-plus win to Cronulla, and I think they will continue their red-hot 2024 form into round 3. All right, the next game, we've got the Parramatta Eels against the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles. Manly starting off this season 2-0. Cronulla, they are 1-1 this year. So, look, I think this will be another big game this weekend. Look, I did back Para at Combank. They have won 5 of their last 9 against the Seagulls. However, the Eagles do have a better average winning margin over the last 5 years. Look, I do think that Para should win this game. I just think they'll bounce back at Combank. Manly started the year red hot, and they definitely could continue that. But I'm gonna keep my tip here of Parramatta. I think they will be too good for Manly. Not by much. I think it'll be a 1-12 margin, a very close margin. But yeah, I do think that Para get the job done at Combank. All right, and to round it out, guys, we've got the Newcastle Knights against the Melbourne Storm. Knights are 0-2 to start the season. Storm are 2-0. Storm obviously have had the wood over Newcastle. They won 5 of their last 6 games against the Knights. The Knights did win by 8 points, so a 26-18 win in round 21 last year. And it was a very good game. It was at McDonald Jones Stadium, so it was at Newcastle. Originally, I tipped Storm in this one. It's tough for me to change this. It is tough for me to change this, but I am going to change it to the Knights. I think it's going to be a bit similar to last year. I think Newcastle will beat Storm in Newcastle. I'm going to say 1-12 margin. I think the Knights, look, they did start poorly. You know, a 1 point loss to the Cowboys, and then prior to that, they got tailed up by the Raiders. But I do think they'll turn it around. I think they'll turn it around in this one in front of their home crowd against the Melbourne Storm. It's not often that the Knights get blown out at home and then go on to lose again at home. So I think the Knights will beat Storm. But yeah, let's go over the tips once more and then we will wrap it up. So Panthers 1-12 over the Broncos on Thursday. The first of the Friday night games, going Warriors 1-12 over the Raiders. Backed up with the Rabbitohs 1-12 over the Roosters. I'm backing the Bulldogs 1-12 over the Titans. Cowboys 1-12 over the Dragons. Sharkies 1-12. Sharkies 13 plus over the Tigers. I'm a little bit concerned because it isn't like that, but I do think the Sharks will be too good. Parramatta 1-12 over the Seagulls, and the Knights 1-12 over the Storm. Let me know who you're backing down below, guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.